to Career Uprising. I'm your host and professional career coach, Lorraine Rise. Join me as I guide you through an amazing journey of self-discovery and empowerment. If you are looking for work, changing careers, or stuck in a toxic job, then this is the show for you. I offer both practical and spiritual guidance to help you up-level and advance your career. Let's start the uprising. Hey everybody, you are listening to episode 122, When the Job Search Isn't Working. How are you doing out there? Welcome to the show, everyone. And if you could take a moment while you're listening to give the show a rating or a review. iTunes or Apple is the best way, I think. That's how most people listen, but I'm out there on all kinds of platforms and I love feedback. I read another review or two that came on in early April. I loved it. So please know I do read and receive all of them. And I appreciate it very, very much. And we are 122 episodes in, and I'm still loving it. Still going strong. So, and so when this show airs, probably late May, spring is going to be here. It's basically here now, but it should be very warm by the time this show airs. And my daughter will be almost out of school, just a couple more weeks. I'm so excited. So what I want to help you with today is basically dealing with the disappointment of a job search that isn't working and what to do when it just isn't working and you don't know what to do next. Of course, this is a really common challenge that a lot of my clients encounter, and it's very difficult emotionally when you have been searching and searching. And a lot of people search for a long time sometimes before they get help and make the investment, and kind of wish they had done it sooner, but it's okay. It is what it is. Just start where you are. But then sometimes we get clients who come and hire us right at the beginning of the journey, which is great. I love to see that proactiveness in there. But wherever you are in the process, job searching sucks. It does. It's hard. And that's one reason why my team and I make our living doing what we do to help people through this process. You know, you get that dreaded rejection email that's probably automated, or maybe you're not even getting that at all. Maybe you just get ghosted and nothing happens. But either way, it's devastating sometimes. It's very frustrating because it feels like a waste of time, you know? And sometimes we pin our hopes too much on that one job that we really wanted to work out. But I got to tell you, if it didn't work out, it wasn't supposed to. You really do have to move on. And I know that's a tall order, especially if you are unemployed. It's a major source of disappointment because your financial well-being is on the line too. You got to get back to work. So it can be crushing. I know it feels like a waste of time and effort sometimes when you're just applying, and you can't figure out what is going on. So if this sounds familiar, I hope this show will help you a little bit today to figure out what you can do when you don't know what to do. All right. So as always, my approach is first going to be to get your mindset straight. That's where it all begins. We cannot skip that part. Never. What I want you to do is decide ahead of time how you're going to respond when this disappointment comes, because it will. Part of any job search is not getting chosen for some of the jobs you apply to. It's just par for the course. It's going to happen. Nobody, not even me, gets hired for 100% of the jobs they apply to. All right. So if you know that something is going to happen, you can get control of the situation by deciding ahead of time, before it happens, how you will respond and how you're going to feel about it. So whether you're at the beginning of a job search or in the middle of it, I want you to stop and make a plan for what you're going to make it mean and how you're going to handle it when that rejection or whatever it is, or that no email at all, whenever that happens. I want you to decide ahead of time how you're going to handle it. And are you going to move on? All right. And notice too that I said respond. I want you to know how you're going to respond and how you're going to handle it, not just react. Okay. Because when you have a plan for how you're going to feel, when you don't have a plan, you're just reacting. It's in the moment. It's kind of a knee-jerk reaction, right? And it's very powerless. But I don't want you to be powerless. I want you to get ahead and get a control of the situation and take your power back by having a plan for how you're going to feel and what you're going to do when that inevitable rejection comes. All right? So, and I know it's hard these days. You don't even know how long to wait because you might not even get a rejection email. So you're just kind of perpetually waiting. So maybe you also need to decide, how long am I going to wait before I move on and not worry about it. And if they end up wanting to interview me, great. But if not, in the meantime, I'm going to keep applying and keep going. We're not going to freeze the job search. That's a big thing. Okay. We also don't want to approach this from the mindset of, bracing ourselves. I want you to be prepared for how you're going to handle not getting a job, but I also don't want you to brace for impact, right? That's not a mindset that we want to be in. Oh no, something bad's going to happen. I just know it. We want to handle it in a much more empowering way than that. All right. So that's not what we're getting at. It's more just being prepared. All right. And remember, you only need one job. So you are going to land one. Okay. You only need one yes. So that means there's going to be a heck of a lot of no's. At some point, there are. Almost all of them are, you're going to get no's. But that's okay. You don't need them all to say yes. You only need one to say yes. Right? And you will get there. It's just a matter of time. Okay. So by taking this approach, though, I'm hoping that you can prevent some setbacks and problems from damaging your confidence. All right. And that damaged confidence that holds you back and keeps you from reaching your potential in every area of life. The more our confidence is hurt, the more we stay in this negative cycle, quite honestly, of just reacting to our problems all over again and not actively solving them. So that's why it's okay to feel the disappointment briefly. You can feel a little let down. I didn't get that job. They didn't even interview me or whatever. But don't stay in that mindset for very long. Don't let that mindset rule your job search and be characteristic of the whole thing. You're going to have to be ready to move on when the time is right. Okay. All right. So that was your little mindset spiel. So let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I'm going to give you 3 specific steps that you can take when you are in a job search and it is not working. You're not getting anywhere. So like I said, when you don't know what to do, here are 3 things when we get back that you can do. Okay. Stay there. We'll be right back. Hey everyone, while the show takes a quick break, I want to tell you about 2 ways that you can get help in your career for free. First, you can sign up for my mailing list and be a part of my community. I offer in-depth resources and solutions for your career problems. I have a free gift waiting for you when you sign up. Head over to careeruprising.com/signup and join my community today. Then join my LinkedIn group called Career Uprising Premium Online Community. It's growing every day, and you can interact with me and ask questions about your own situation. Just open up LinkedIn now and search for Career Uprising Premium Online Community. And I can't wait to connect with you. Let's get back to the show. All right, everybody. So let's dig in here. 3 things that you can do when the job search isn't working. So, number 1, don't automatically assume that it's your resume. This is usually the first thing that people go to. So many clients assume that if they didn't get an interview, that they need to go back and retool their resume for the 47th time. Now, it's possible it might be your resume, but in many cases, it isn't. There's a zillion potential reasons why you didn't get called back, okay? Maybe they actually had already hired somebody. Maybe they didn't end up hiring anyone. Maybe they never even saw your resume because it fell into the black hole online. The list goes on. So take a quick look at your resume, if you must, but I don't want you to waste time redoing it over and over again. This is a trap that clients fall into. A resume is only one part of a job search. So it's fine if you want to take a look at it and, ideally you should be taking a quick look at it before you apply for the job. Just 10 minutes tops, make sure that the right keywords are in there, that it's kind of sending the right message and you've got a headline up there that's aligning with your targeted job. Just take 10 minutes before you apply. But then that's it, okay? And take a quick look at your LinkedIn too. It doesn't hurt to review these things briefly and just every now and then make sure that they are up to date and aligned with your job target. But that's about it. I don't want you to go back and rewrite your resume in depth every time and create a completely separate version for every job you apply to. I don't know if that's necessary, at least not for everybody. If the jobs that you are applying to are pretty similar in nature, you really shouldn't have to do that much customizing. Otherwise, the resume is probably missing the mark in general. So you can spend a few minutes on the resume, but that's it. Honestly, I want you to keep on moving and I want you to keep applying, all right? Because that may not be the problem at all. So what the problem often is your job search strategy, which brings us to number 2. I want you to find a different way to apply. If what you're doing isn't working, try something else. Okay. We all know that worn out saying about the definition of insanity, right? But that's what a lot of people do. There are more ways to apply to a job than online. You can work through recruiters, which we just talked about in depth in the show right before this. You can work through your network and ask for leads. You can go to job fairs. You can reach out cold to companies. You can connect with groups online or your alumni. There are a number of ways that you can apply for jobs and get leads that is not just online. Get creative and do something different than whatever it is that isn't working, all right? Always double down on what is working and pull back on what isn't. And that's one thing that's really beneficial in coaching too, is we can get in and identify what is working and what isn't. Sometimes you don't know. It takes another person. It takes either just a third party or a professional or somebody to really help you evaluate your job search methods. But there is more than one method you can use. And in my coaching, I teach clients how to do 3 things: target specific companies, specific people, and specific jobs. It's a 3-fold approach that I teach. Most people are just doing one. They're just targeting jobs that they see online. They're not reaching out cold to companies they might want to work at, and they're not reaching out to people in their network to have strategic conversations. So if you want to become a client, I can walk you through that step by step. There's way more that we can go into on one show, and it's also very customized to the person, okay? But get creative. Who can you reach out to? How about alumni? Our local chamber of commerce, too. They often have job search resources and lists of companies that might be hiring. They even have job postings sometimes. Do you see what I'm getting at? There are probably more things out there that you haven't thought of yet. All right? Step 3, I want you to ask for feedback. When you don't know what to do, somebody else might. Ask a friend for advice. Hire a coach. Reach out to a recruiter. Ask somebody for help. You don't have to do it alone. Job searching is one of the most isolating processes. I know, I've been there. It sucks. But there are ways to get feedback. If you interview and don't get the job, try and ask the recruiter or the manager for feedback. They may or may not tell you, but it's worth asking. Ask a friend who's in the industry or line of work that you want to be in, or that you are in, to give you feedback or mentor you. Hey, what's going on? Would you hire me if you saw my resume? What advice do you have for me? This is especially critical if you're changing careers. Then you darn well better be reaching out to people in your network who are in that line of work before you start applying so that you can understand that field. You can also join groups online, on LinkedIn. There's lots of ways to get feedback and make connections, but you're going to have to put in the effort and get creative. And one more tip too, if you're struggling and the job search isn't working, is consider temp work from an agency. I've done this in my career more than once. It can be a great stopgap in there to keep you employed, even if it's not exactly what you want to be doing or doesn't pay quite as well. It keeps you employed while you search for work. I love this strategy. So make sure you're reaching out to staffing agencies and to connect with them and see if they have even a 3-month job consulting or something like that you can do in the meantime. Okay, it's better to have a short-term contract role on your resume than a long gap of unemployment, okay? The latter is a little harder to overcome and explain. Okay, so right there was 3 kind of quick and dirty tips and action items for you. I want you to start there if you're job searching and not getting any results. And if you need more help than that, reach out to us. Let us coach you. Let us help you write your resume. There is help and there is feedback out there. You can go to careeruprising.com, learn about the programs that we have. You can always just email me too, Lorraine@careeruprising.com. But I hope you have a wonderful rest of the month in May, and I will be back soon with a new show. Thanks, guys. That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard today, please consider giving the show a positive review on iTunes. It would mean a lot to me, and it would help to spread the word so that others can learn about the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to connect with you again next time on Career Uprising.
This show was brought to you by InflowRadio.com, the best curated talk radio network for personal development, wellness, spirituality, and conscious business.